Welcome back to the channel and indeed the sofa. It's been a while. Some stories really frustrate me, such as the one that I read this morning where the company is enforcing or purporting to enforce a contract against a 17-year-old boy. Now I say boy not to be derogatory, but because he's a minor until he's 18. And many of you will already know that you cannot really enter a contract until you're 18 because you're deemed to be a minor and not yet an adult. Now, ordinarily, parents cannot enter a contract for you either, unless they're acting as your agent or something else of that nature. There are some exceptions, such as necessaries, which includes things such as food and drink and clothing and even accommodation, such as like a hostel or something like that. But otherwise, the contract, if with a minor, is voidable at the option of the minor. In other words, they can't legally enforce this against the minor. So in this particular case, the gym trying to enforce its gym membership terms against the 17-year-old is, quite frankly, barking up the wrong tree. Now, if that minor, just as he did so, say, I'm cancelling my membership, I'm out of here, and then cancel the direct debit, that's it, really. That's the end of the matter, because he's not an adult, and they can't really enforce that contract against him as a minor. Now, not that this is legal advice, but if I were in that situation, I would be saying, well, okay, fine, take me to court then, because as a minor, you can't enforce that contract against a minor, not least of which because he's a minor, but also the contract might well have terms that are unfair to uphold against a minor, such as a lengthy cancellation process. Many of you might remember that I did a video some time ago where I had a problem with a gym, and in fact, I had a genuine reason to cancel my contract with the gym. Not that this minor didn't need a genuine reason, he can just say I've cancelled it and that's it. But I had an actual reason that I needed to cancel this contract, which was an injured shoulder, and I'd got medical evidence and all this sort of stuff. So I was actually relatively straightforward with the gym and tried to cancel it with giving them some notice and things like that. But then when they tried to hold me to a longer term, I then went through their terms and conditions, as I sometimes do. I'm a lawyer, we tend to do that sometimes. And I found that actually their own terms and conditions were more favourable to me than the options that I was giving the gym in the first place. So I went back to them and said, well, actually, your terms and conditions say that when I've given you evidence of my injury, it terminates, I think it was at the end of that month. I'd have to go back and rewatch for the details, but I'll try and find it and link it in the description below. But these are the kind of stories that do frustrate me, because companies trying to take advantage of young people, again, not being ageist, it's just they're trying to take advantage of people that are trying to, get fit and healthy, and then when they either can't afford it or they've got studies or some other reason or whatever, they're trying to stamp their authority and pressure them into paying for, presumably, I haven't read the full article, but presumably some lengthy notice period and things like that, or maybe even the full 12 months. I'm not quite sure which. But either way, as a minor, it's voidable at the option of the minor. Not only that, the minor in that contractual relationship can enforce such a contract against the company. So it's a one-way thing. Because they're a minor, they can void the contract at their discretion, but also they can enforce the terms if they've paid money under the contract against the company, because it is a contract. But because they've entered the contract and the company has accepted the contract, the minor can enforce that against the company. So if you end up in that situation, not that this is legal advice, it isn't, but if you end up in that situation, don't just sit on it and accept them pushing you and threatening you with collection fees and all this sort of stuff. If you really need advice, go and take advice. If you want some guidance, send me the story on here and I'll give you my guidance. It cannot replace formal legal advice, but I'm happy to look at it and comment on it as guidance and what I might do in that situation with the background that I have, not just as a barrister, but many, many years in business and how contracts work and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm happy to look at those. But as I said, these stories do frustrate me. So if you're a gym or you're some other company and you've contracted with someone who's under 18, just let them off. Don't make their life a misery, because they're ultimately they're a child. Until they are an adult, they're a child or a young person, as we refer to between certain age brackets. But either way, they're not an adult. So don't do it, because it's not worth it. You might even get a situation where if a child is being treated really badly and they come to me on this channel, I might even represent them for free, just to bash the company over the head to say, you cannot do this. So if you end up in that situation and you really can't do it and you need some help, do send me the story. I can either make a video on it as guidance, or I might even send them a letter for you, just telling them what the legal position is. So I hope you found that useful. Forgive the voice. I've picked up a bug and I'm obviously not feeling very well, but that's no excuse. I give myself no choice. As I say in my Black Belt Secrets channel, linked in every single video, go and subscribe at Black Belt Secrets, because many more videos are coming there. As I say, I can barely breathe, I can barely talk, but thank you for bearing with me. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, not least of which because I keep going. Thank you for watching.